Hey everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to talk about Batgirl and a recent announcement that actress Leslie Grace has been cast in the lead role. Now Leslie Grace herself is 26 years old, she's American born of Dominican descent, and she recently starred in the Into the Heights musical, which was released earlier this year. Now her role is for the upcoming Batgirl movie, which surprisingly will only be exclusive on HBO Max and not released in theatres. Now, a couple of days ago, it was reported that there were 4 actresses considered for the role: Isabella Merced, Zoe Deutsch, Leslie Grace, and Haley Lou Richardson, and there was a lot of speculation as to who would get the role overall, and of course Leslie Grace won throughout. Now, there has been apparent controversy surrounding this role because it's yet again a race change of a classic white character, even yet again another redhead white character, and we've seen this recently with the likes of mixed race actress Hannah Joy Kamen being cast as Red Sonja. We've seen black actress Halle Bailey be cast as Ariel for Little Mermaid. We go even further back where Colombian actress Sasha Calle was cast as Supergirl as well. Now admittedly, I'm not the biggest Batgirl fan. I've got no hatred towards the character. I've really seen her, like a lot of the Bat members of the family, more as a supporting character Batman as to opposed to a strong enough character to lead her own particular story, but I appreciate that there are a lot of fans of the character. Now when it comes to these comic book castings, I've always had the view that when adapting them, you should always strive to have the character look like the original source material. Now, I've mentioned this a lot in a previous video where I talk about the best comic book castings of all time, and you can check that out on the channel. Now, in many ways, in terms of a comic book casting, surely it's the thrill of having what's coming from the page come on to life in terms of live action. That's why I firmly believe always that we should look to get as close and accurate as possible to how good the character looks on the screen. Now, of course, a competent actress is also important. At the end of the day, you can't just have someone who looks like the role but can't turn in a credible performance. But I do believe that you can have both a strong actress and someone who looks like the character. The two elements don't have to be mutually exclusive. So that's why out of the 4 selected choices, I would have gone for Zoe Deutsch, who has the Barbara Gordon characteristics. She has the red hair and the white skin as well. Now, this is nothing against Leslie Grace as an actress. She looks very beautiful and she got a lot of credit and kudos from her performance in the In the Heights musical. So no personal issues against Leslie Grace, but it's just, again, we go back to that comic book accuracy as what I've described before. Now, Leslie Grace's casting only really makes sense if we're going to link it to the Matt Reeves Batman movie, which, as we all know, has cast a black actor in Jeffrey Wright in the role as Commissioner Gordon. Now, we don't know yet as to what plans are in terms of whether there will be a link to Matt Reeves Batman. Now, it does raise some interesting questions, because if we look at the DC content overall, we're going to have Leslie Grace in the role here as Batgirl. So does that mean that we will get another version of a Commissioner Gordon in the project on HBO Max? Because as we all know, Commissioner Gordon is Barbara's father. He's very integral to her as a character. He is very much a hero and an inspiration in her wanting to be able to fight crime. We can go again with Batman and the fact that obviously Batman is key to inspiring Barbara Gordon to becoming Batgirl. So how are they going to work it in this show overall? Because are we going to have a Commissioner Gordon in this project? We already know, as I mentioned, we're going to have a Commissioner Gordon in the Matt Reeves film. Recently had the J.K. Simmons version of a Commissioner Gordon in the Zack Snyder Justice League. And of course, in Teen Titans Season 3, we're going to have Barbara Gordon in her Oracle persona, wheelchair bound, if you know any familiarity from the classic The Killing Joke comic book storyline where Barbara is shot by the Joker and left paralysed. So are we going to have essentially 3 Commissioner Gordons running around in the same space in terms of DC content? Are they going to include Batman in any shape or form in this Batgirl show? Because you have to reference him in some stage. You can't have Batgirl just come to the idea that she's going to wear a bat suit and fight crime on her own. You're going to have to reference Batman in some capacity. So Again, this is DC all over. We're throwing all of these multiple versions all over the place, all at once, without any sense of continuity. And again, if anybody questions, their go-to answer is that we are building the multiverse, so you can have all of these multiple versions at once. I've commented many times how I don't agree with that strategy overall in terms of the DC content. I want to see one single continued universe where you have all of these classic characters bouncing off one another. Now, the other point is, again, we raised that issue of this constant controversy and drama surrounding these comic book castings. And from my point of view, I think it does a disservice to the actresses themselves, because Leslie Grace, this could be her big break in terms of her acting career, but already she's already going to face a certain amount of antagonism. Again, not against her personally, but a lot of hardcore fans are going to be against this, because once again they feel it's going to be identity politics and diversity agendas plaguing your classic comic book characters. So already the show is fighting some sort of antagonism against it, even though we haven't seen an ounce of footage, or we haven't got yet any scope in terms of the plot or storyline. We only need to go to what's happening with the whole He-Man show to get an idea of the disconnect, it seems, between showrunners and studios and fans. And again, it just raises unnecessary drama. You know, if you had cast Zoe Deutsch or someone who looks more like Barbara Gordon, then there would be no issue. It raises the other point that we get constantly: why can't we see original black comic book characters come to life? In terms of DC content, Vixen is so often brought up as an example. Again, why couldn't you have not cast Leslie Grace as Vixen? Nobody would have had an issue with that, and they'd be far more supportive. So again, if you just go for a much more accurate look in terms of these representations, then you come from a much more of a positive place, and then you can build up positive buzz and hype and have that transcend much more to general audiences who aren't very familiar with the character overall. So that's why I wish we could just adapt or just stay true to the source material and just try and begin of a place of positivity. Why is everything again got to be bordered on outrage and controversy? And again, the studios have to take blame for this, because it's not the fans. If Zoe Deutsch had been cast as Batgirl, no fans would be complaining, because their original instinct would be, oh, she looks like the character for the role, she looks suitable for the character, therefore we are going to prop this up and give it our full support. So why not do that in the first place? Right? Why has it always got to come from a place of negativity and controversy? Yes, people point to the fact that studios are pushing more of their ideologies in terms of these casting of these characters, but I just think you're just setting yourself up for a fall, right? Because you're going to have that inbuilt antagonism already built towards the show, even before it's aired to begin with. So really, that's my overall main thoughts. As I said before, nothing against Leslie Grace as an actress, as a person. I'm pretty sure performance-wise, she'll deliver for the role. But I just wish we could just go back to just reflecting much more of a comic book accuracy within these castings. And as I said before, there's no reason why you can't get a competent actress who also looks like the character. There's nothing wrong with that. And if they did enough digging and they weren't so obsessed with trying to just generate outrage and controversy because they feel it raises more awareness and they think it will equal more ratings and more merchandising sales, I wish they would just come out of that mindset and just go back to reflecting more what is from the comic books overall, because at the end of the day they still have to produce a good storyline and a good product overall. But why can't we just have something stay true to the source? I'll never know overall. But those are my overall quick feelings and thoughts on Leslie Grace being cast as Batgirl from the upcoming Batgirl movie or project on HBO Max. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you enthusiastic for this casting? Are you yet again despondent at the fact that yet again it's another race swap is what we're seeing far too often, in my opinion overall? Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you think this will affect audiences, where we're going to have multiple Commissioner Gordons, it seems, across the board, along with multiple Batman iterations all being thrown at us at the same time? Let me know what you think in the comments about that as well. Please also hit and like those subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.